Good evening, this is Brass Tacks. I'm Sagar Jacob. There's been a shocking case of a repeated rape of a young teenage girl, a 14-year-old, by a Delhi government official. Now, this man is a deputy director in the Women and Child Development Department. He is one of those who is supposed to be protecting our sisters and our daughters. That is his job. That is what the Sarkar or the government is paying him money for. But it turns out that he's a predator. His wife allegedly gave abortion pills to the victim. But has the fight for justice for this young girl who's currently in hospital and she was raped repeatedly over a period of over 2 years, has the fight for justice for this young one been already mired in politics between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party? We'll get to that and all sides of the debate right here on Brass Tacks. But first, the story that has shocked the entire national capital and beyond.
A shocking incident has come to light in the national capital. Deputy Director in the Women and Child Development Department in Delhi, Pramodai Khaka, is accused of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl multiple times between October 2020 to February 2021. After the survivor got pregnant, Pramodai's wife gave her abortion pills and asked her to remain quiet. The accused couple is now under arrest and have been charged under several sections of the Indian Penal Code and the POCSO Act.
See, it is a very sensitive case. The victim was not in her total stable condition. As far as our legal procedure is concerned, on 13th the FIR was lodged, 13th of August. Next day only, on 14th, we had filed for 164 statement for her. However, the doctors, they asked for some time for her to get stable. Today, we are getting the same effect.
The FIR in this case was registered on the 13th of August, but the crackdown began only on the 21st when the case came to light. The BJP went all guns blazing against the Delhi government and the DCW for allegedly shielding the accused.
स्वाति मालीवाल जी, जिनके ऊपर ये दारोमदार है कि वो उस बच्ची को न्याय दिलाएं, वो धरना डालकर राजनीतिक प्रपंच कर तफ्तीश में अवरोध क्यों पैदा कर रही है?
The NCPCR and NCW also slammed Arvind Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party government.
इस पर्टिकुलर मामले में बच्चे की सरनेम हमको पता चला है, सरनेम से हमने कीवर्ड सर्च किया है. अभी तक हमको बाल स्वराज पोर्टल पे इसकी जानकारी नहीं मिली है. बिना CWC ऑर्डर के, बिना CWC प्रोडक्शन के, बिना प्रॉपर एक निगरानी के अगर बच्चे को कहीं भेजा गया है तो ये अपने आप में दिल्ली सरकार की नाकामी को बता रहा है.
लास्ट 2 साल से वो ये कर रहा था और जब बच्ची सामने आई, दिल्ली सरकार का एम्प्लॉय अगर ये खुद कर रहा है और वो DCW के साथ काम कर रहा था, तो DCW जो कि हर दूसरे के काम में अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व करती है, वो कहाँ थी जब ये सब हो रहा था, उनका खुद का एम्प्लॉय ये कर रहा था.
But the DCW and the Delhi government denied all allegations and in turn blamed the Delhi police for laxity in the case.
How is it a failure of the Delhi Commission for Women? Because I know that you have been trying to say that the Delhi Commission for Women has not done its work properly. I'll just give you 2 instances. I got to know about this case yesterday night. In the morning itself, I've issued a notice to the Delhi police as well as the Delhi government. I have wanted to know that why is it that this man was not arrested. From the Delhi government, I want to know that what all sensitive positions did he hold and was any other complaint filed against him.
देखिए, बहुत शॉकिंग इंसिडेंट है. इसलिए भी शॉकिंग है क्योंकि जो ये अफसर हैं वो खुद महिला एवं बाल विकास विभाग में काम कर रहे थे और अगर उन पर किसी माइनर के रेप का आरोप लगता है तो फिर ये बहुत ही एक चिंताजनक बात है हमारे लिए.
The survivor's father was accused Pramodai's family friend who died tragically in a road accident just days before Pramodai committed the grisly crime. Amid this political blame game, justice still awaits. Who is responsible for letting the survivor down?
But first, let's bring you up to speed with who this man is. Who is this accused? His name is Pramodai Khaka. He was a senior official at the Women and Child Development Department of the Delhi government. In fact, Khaka was appointed as an officer on special duty, an OSD, to the minister, the previous minister, Kailash Gehlot, in 2022. Now, the current minister, Atishi, claims that this man did not work for her at all, that as soon as she became minister, he was removed as OSD. This man, who is supposed to be a protector of women and children, allegedly raped this young 14-year-old girl multiple times over 2 years. And what is even more shocking is that once he realized that this young girl was pregnant, he told the news to his wife, and his wife allegedly gave her abortion pills when she learned that the victim was pregnant. The minor victim's father was Premodai Khaka's family friend. He passed away in a road accident just a few days before this sexual assault began. Premodai Khaka, his wife, both of whom have been booked under various sections of the Indian Penal Code, the POCSO, as well as other provisions by the Delhi police. Now, the question that's being asked is, and this is the shocking part, this was the rape of a minor. It apparently happened over a period of 2 years, the last 2 years, and that too by a sitting government official of the government of Delhi. The most shocking part is the laxity, the delays that have been caused. August 13th, that is a week before last, was when the FIR was registered against Premodai Khaka. That was a whole 8 days before it came to light. The FIR, both against Premodai Khaka and his wife, was on the 13th of August. But action, whether it was a suspension as a government official or whether it was the arrest that eventually happened today, was on the 21st of August, a good 8 days later. Now, the DCW claims, and this is the Delhi Commission for Women, is meant to protect the interests of women in the national capital. They had no clue about such a case, about this government official and what he was up to. They claim that they intervened the moment they got to know of this, which was yesterday night. They sent notices to the Delhi police as well as the Delhi government. Meanwhile, this man continued as a government official up until today, when the media picked up this story and went to town with this story. 8 days later is when the Delhi government decided to suspend the accused, and 8 days later was when the accused, Premodai Khaka, and his wife were arrested by the Delhi police. The simple and basic question that needs to be asked here is this. These are individuals who are government employees. He's employed with the Department of Women and Child Development, meant to protect our sisters and our mothers and our daughters. If this man turns out to be the kind of sexual predator that he's accused of being, raping a young 14-year-old girl repeatedly over a period of 2 years, and his wife turns out to be an accomplice to that crime, then how safe are our women and our children? How safe are our daughters and our sisters? And more importantly, has this entire fight for justice for this young woman been mired in politics between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP? Joining us now on the talking point here on Brass Tacks, we'll be joined in a moment by Shehzad Poonawala of the BJP, Akshay Marathe, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Geeta Luthra is a senior advocate in the Supreme Court, S.N. Srivastav is former Commissioner of Police of the Delhi Police. Akshay Marathe, there's simply no excuse for this kind of crime, simply no excuse for a man who was employed by the Women and Child Development Department of the Delhi government. And despite the fact that this was going on for 2 years, no one knew about it. The FIR finally got registered on the 13th. Sorry, the case came to light on the 13th. The FIR got registered on the 13th. And then it took 8 days until the media brought this case to light for the arrest to happen and for the Delhi government to take any kind of action.
Zaka, first of all, I want to say in no unclear terms that this is one of the most shocking sexual abuse cases that I have seen in the last few years in Delhi because of the nature of the person involved in this case. The person, like you mentioned, is somebody who's supposed to protect the interests of women in Delhi. He's a senior officer of the Delhi government. And as you might be aware, Zaka, the services in the state of Delhi belongs with the central government. And we have been crying hoarse for years now, saying that we want the ability to discipline officers who are clearly engaged in corrupt and illegal activities. So this is yet another example that if we had the power to suspend this officer 8 days ago when this case came to light, Aam Aadmi Party would have been the first one to do it.
No, but Akshay,
But
one sec. Akshay, one sec. Sorry. I'm sorry I'm interrupting. Akshay, one second. What new powers? What new power? Sir.
One sec.
Wait. No. Don't lose your cool.
Let me finish my point,
I know
Zaka.
you're under the
Let me
pump.
finish my
I know
point.
the Aam Aadmi Party has a lot of explaining to do. One second.
Zaka, I'm not under the thumb.
I'm just asking you a question from what you said.
No.
Calm down. One second. Akshay, don't lose your cool. Don't lose your cool. Please. No, 1 second.
Let me finish my
I will
point.
allow you to finish your point. You made a sentence just now. You said a sentence just now. You said, had you had the powers, you would have sacked this man or suspended this man 8 days ago. What new powers did you get today? Other than the fact that the media had it on the front pages and the television channels are doing primetime debates about it. What new power have you got today that you did not have on the 13th of August? Please tell us.
Very good question. Zaka, because the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi has refused to act against this officer, we felt the need to direct the Chief Secretary. Arvind Kejriwal wrote to the Chief Secretary, what are you doing? You have to suspend this man. And now the BJP is turning around and saying, what did we do? The Delhi police, with whose job it is, just imagine, Zaka, the FIR has been registered 8 days ago. Is it not the Delhi police's responsibility to arrest this man? What is Shehzad Poonawalla going to say today? It is his Delhi police. His Delhi police has known that this man has done this heinous crime against the minor. Why has Shehzad Poonawalla BJP Delhi police not
That
arrested?
this issue
No, I am
too, the
amazed that
issue
you are
of
not asking Delhi
justice
police that
to a
question.
young
No, you
girl,
should
a
ask Shehzad
14-year-old.
Poonawalla.
I will ask
No,
Shehzad
no.
Poonawalla. 1 second.
Yeah,
But
no,
I'm
you
sorry,
start with it. You start
Akshay.
with it.
No, I'm
It is a
sorry.
law and order
That an
issue.
issue.
It is a
How is it
law
a law and
and
order
order
issue?
issue.
For
You
God's
start
sake,
with
this
it.
guy was a
How is it
government
not a law and
official
order issue?
working for
If
your
the
government,
case
man.
happened,
Come on,
BJP
let's
is
get real.
responsible for law and order in
Akshay
Delhi. Why don't
Marathe,
you ask
this
Shehzad
is not a
Poonawalla?
law and order
No,
issue.
no,
This is
I
a
will not
government
accept it.
official who was working for your government.
No,
Get
it is-
real.
He is.
Please
he
get
works
real.
For the BJP central
Don't
government. He works
think.
For the BJP central
Don't
government.
think.
You have been
Sir,
covering the
he
Delhi
is a
services.
government official
You know he works
of the Women and Child
I'm not
Development
going to
Ministry
accept
of the
this.
government
No,
of Delhi.
No.
Like I said, I know you're under pressure tonight. I know that the people of Delhi are asking you questions. But please don't think of us, the people of Delhi, as fools. Okay? Please don't think of us, the people of Delhi, as fools.
No, you think.
No, I don't. Akshay, if you had a simple submission to make tonight in all humility, that yes, there was a lapse. Yes, this guy should not have gotten away. This was a let up. This should not have happened. Had you said that, Akshay, I would have been willing to agree to that argument. The people who are watching this broadcast would have been willing to buy that argument. But you have come all guns blazing thinking this is a law and order issue. Yes, Delhi police did not make the arrest, and I'm going to ask Shehzad Poonawalla that. Why the hell did not the Delhi police arrest this man? And he will have to answer the people just like you have to answer the people. But for God's sake, please do not reduce the issue of justice for a 14-year-old girl to your dirty politics, man. Come on, spare us that.
No, you are dirty politics.
Shehzad Poonawalla.
Shehzad
Poonawalla. Now please answer the question. Delhi police registers the FIR on 13th of August.
Yes, sir.
8 days before today.
Yes,
but
sir.
today they go and arrest this man. Why? The only difference is, it's not like they didn't have powers of arrest 1 week ago.
Yes.
The only difference that's happened is that the media has gone to town with this story. It has outraged the people of Delhi, this story. And that's why all of you all are acting.
Zaka, I am actually very, I can't have words to speak because the kind of tone and tenor even you have, it has affected all of us. And I just request that I have not interrupted anybody. Let me explain to you all the actions, starting with the Delhi police action, and then come to certain questions we need to raise. As far as Delhi police is concerned, Zaka, this girl was taken in the custody of the officer in October 2020. He started abusing her. There was a complete failure of the child welfare committees, which are tasked with the job of seeing how these children are kept, especially if they've lost a parent during COVID. Thereafter, during the counseling session, it was got to know that he was being raped and the pregnancy was terminated. One of the counselors and other people responsible informed the police. The police, based on the statement of the mother, recorded a 161 and immediately registered an FIR, and that was on 13th. Next day, they called the concerned officer. Now, as far as the law is concerned, the law is very clear that unless at least the victim's statement is there, directly to make such an arrest is not possible. We have a lawyer and we have the former commissioner also. So and the doctors told them no talking to the victim till she's okay. Today, the moment they got an opportunity to talk to the victim, they immediately recorded a 164 and arrested. But let me ask you 2 or 3 questions. On 13th, when the FIR was registered, even though on a 161 statement, why was the government not issuing a notice for suspension of this officer? The reason is because this officer is not even an IAS or a DANIX officer. He's a low-level officer who was promoted right up to OSD of Kailash Gehlot in 22. He had solid political patronage. If you see the last 8-9 years, he has been given key responsibilities, and their entire infrastructure was working to defend this man. I am saying there was not a single minute delay in the arrest. 164 recorded. The next moment, the husband and wife have been arrested. On the basis of that, the arrest has been made. But you had one FIR registered already on 13th. Now, between 13th to now, I'm just asking few specific questions. A, where was Swati Maliwal? Did she not know that this has taken place? Where was the DCW counseling the child? Why did she not go in the last 8 days to the child? Why did she not tell the government of Delhi that put the notice for suspension of this officer? Apart from that, the CWC, the child welfare committees, there's 7 of them in Delhi. They have told Supreme Court that every child who has lost a parent, we have the information, it's online. Where was the information of this particular child? And today you come and you have so much bluster to defend this with all kinds of allegations saying LG is responsible. I think, Zaka, I am sorry that you had to see this kind of argument. It is not about my rape, your rape, or this tutu meme. We need to work for justice for this child.
Akshay Marathe, quick response, then Geeta Luthra, SN Srivastava.
We have been crying hoarse that we want the power to discipline officers, but this BJP people in parliament have been.
Why were you promoting him in 22, Baba? Forget disciplining.
Be disciplined, and now they have the gall. They don't have the shame to come and say, why did Aam Aadmi Party not take action against the officer? Why the hell did you take away the power of the Delhi government to discipline officers? Now you don't have the shame to accept that Lieutenant Governor is his job to discipline officers. And your Delhi police, if the Delhi police is told that a girl is being raped, you are saying 8 days Delhi police will not do anything because section 164 has what the hell is going on? And you are saying
Zaka,
this is
let me come in and let
issue.
me please have an opportunity.
Akshay, you think we are fools?
Akshay,
the Delhi police will not take any action.
Zaka, I am not being aggressive, does not mean I should not get my time.
The girl has been raped.
Akshay,
what is going on?
Two things. One second. I also need to go to the other 2 guests who've been waiting patiently.
But just 10 seconds.
Just 10 seconds. Give me some time. They've been waiting patiently. Geeta Luthra is
It's a very important counter. See, I don't want to spoil this debate structure. First of all, what was the compulsion under which Kailash Gehlot was making him OSD? Did the LG ask you to do that? You are saying we don't have the powers to penalize. I think this every statement counter should not happen. I heard him out, Zaka. I should not be made to force. I should not be made to beg for my time. Let me finish my statement. Zaka, my time goes in. This is not fair, no, Zaka.
I'm pulling out of
Zaka, but this is not fair. He interrupts me, does not mean I should not get
Shehzad, 1 second, don't lose your cool.
Zaka, but
I'm going to come back to you.
It's not fair. Let me just complete my statement.
I'm not ending the show right now. I'm going to come back to you.
Please, I request you. I'll finish in 10 seconds. It's very pertinent. Very pertinent. It should not go as a misconception. First of all, the LG has no role in this. Please, this is not about services power. You have been promoting this officer. Secondly, as far as the arrest is concerned, please, Zaka, I'm not interrupting. Let's have a civilized debate. I request you. As far as the arrest is concerned, Zaka, please allow one person to speak at a time. It's a sensitive debate. Zaka, please ask. There's a commissioner and there's another person who's a senior lawyer. The FIR was registered immediately. No delay in registration of FIR as soon as the information was got. But now this is an FIR with 161 statement of another person. Arrest can't be made just like that. There was the police which wanted to take the victim statement immediately. The doctor said, no, you can't take the statement. The doctors gave them permission today. Moment statement of victim was taken, arrest was made.
Okay, so Geeta Luthra, That's the contention, and that's the defense put forth by Shehzad Poonawalla, that it took 8 days for the arrest to happen because the victim statement was not recorded under 164 CRPC. Had that happened on the 13th of August, that day itself, arrest would have taken place. I'm not worried about, this, why did the FIR not get registered or why did the arrest not happen. I'm more worried about the fact that here you have a government official in the Department of Women and Child Development who has been repeatedly raping a minor for the last 2 years. Her mother did not know about it. The family did not know about it. The friends, counselors, school, teachers, no one knew about this. And then when the young victim got pregnant, the wife of the accused gave her abortion pills to kill the baby, to terminate the pregnancy. I mean, my mind boggles. I find it hard to wrap my head around what this young child has gone through. How is this even happening? And this is in the national capital. And everybody is acting. I mean, with due respects to Shehzad as well as to Akshay Marathe and their respective political outfits, everybody is coming into action only after the newspapers have put it on page 1 and the TV channels are doing 9 p.m. debates on it. That's the sad reality of where we are today. Geeta Luthra.
So, there are a lot of questions and answers mixed up in what I have to say. The first thing is that media has always had a role, as and when they found that something important is not being given the importance that is due. This is the first aspect. Now, coming to this incident, you would see that the very purpose and the very investigations in cases like this, there will be cases where custodial abuse takes place, and because it happens in the four corners of a neighbor's house or a relative's house or a cousin's house or a friend's house, people that the parents may trust and therefore not suspect, and the child would be, for reasons of fear, of being just completely bewildered, scared, unwell, whatever, may not be their usual self, but may not be able to speak up. So this, if you look at history of cases on sexual abuse, the fact is that it's easier for those who are nearer and in positions of control and authority to abuse, and such abuse, whether it be a parent, a grandparent, an uncle, a relative, will continue for months and years before it is detected. Having said that, I don't think anyone should give it any political hue. Fact is that the man has been suspended. He should have been suspended yesterday. He should have been perhaps suspended on 13th itself. But the fact is, he's been suspended. You will get rotten apples, and you will get rotten apples in places where you trust the most. So it is, of course, shocking to the conscience that this happens in the ministry of a place where you think the guardians of the children are the ones who are assaulting those kids. So it is the guardian who is in a position of authority, who is empowered to in fact protect other children, is doing it at his own place. And what is most shocking, and I've seen this even in other cases, the wives protecting and hiding, or the cousins or the parents protecting and hiding. This is what is most heinous and most noxious.
The wife has also been arrested
how late
today
it was
as an accomplice.
Is what is said.
Okay, S.N. Srivastava, as former Commissioner of Delhi Police, Now, it's one thing that the FIR was registered. Shehzad Poonawalla says that between the 13th and the 21st, they had to wait because the doctors had advised that the victim was not in a position to record her statement. And without the victim's statement, the police were not in a position to arrest. But the least that could have been done is that the police intimate the Delhi government. The Delhi government claims that they had no information about this till the media put it up this morning. And secondly, they are saying that because the police did not bother intimating the Delhi government, they couldn't act against this man. And even today, when they needed to act, the Chief Minister had to write to the Chief Secretary and the Chief Secretary had to respond. It's only thereafter that they could suspend because they don't have normal powers of suspension like other state governments do. So please explain to our viewers, A, the delay in arrest, and B, the lack of intimation despite an FIR being registered.
Okay, two things. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
We can hear you, sir. Okay. And number two, give me time to explain the whole thing. Number one, as you say that the case was registered on 13th of August and the doctor was monitoring in this case, she was like a patient and the doctor was monitoring and trying to get the information out of it. She did not complain herself. It was the doctor who was trying to elicit information about her mental condition and what was the reason behind her mental condition. And once he came to know about the alleged rape, then the Child Welfare Committee was also involved. The whole purpose of the doctor was to get the maximum information, and looking at the sensitivity of the case, it was the information definitely at this stage cannot be given to all and sundry. First, the best course of action could have been that the statement be recorded under section 164 CRPC, and once that done, then the arrest and other legal process will start. So as per the information which I have received, I feel that the case has been handled well. It does not matter when the person is arrested, so long the person is being questioned and he is under observation. It doesn't matter. You need to prepare the ground for the arrest, get all the information, all the evidence together before you arrest. So in this case, I do not see any reason to fault Delhi police, and the doctor, as per the information which I have got, he has done the right thing. Child Welfare Committee is also in the knowledge, and the Child Welfare Committee is also involved.
Akshay
Number
Marathe,
two,
okay,
the other part. Let me complete it.
Okay.
The other part. What is important is that a person who was the welfare officer and promoted as assistant director and looking after the work of deputy director.
Yeah.
Now, what is the internal vigilance of that organization?
Yeah.
Because the welfare officer looks after the well-being of minors, child in need of care and protection, and there's no internal vigilance. So it is a total failure of the department concerned that such a person continues to head an important position in the women and child development. And all these things about trying to find fault is basically a fight fault with Delhi police, and delay in arrest is basically to divert the attention.
Okay.
And
Akshay Marathe, the point that's being made by Mr. Srivastava is that, what about the department? This is not a class D or class C officer. This is a deputy director level officer who's working in a ministry whose explicit purpose is to protect women and children. Nobody in the ministry, none of his colleagues knew that this was happening. I mean, how was this person allowed to even function as a senior government official in this ministry meant for the protection of women and children? And that too for a period of 2 years, from 2020 till late 2022.
Zaka, your implication seems to be that we knew that this person was committing this act and yet he was allowed to stay on. Obviously, this is not the fact. The fact is that the person who has made this allegation, the minor child, she revealed it to her doctor only recently. So if the Aam Aadmi Party government had known that an officer inside this department is committing such a horrible act, obviously we would have gone to the Lieutenant Governor and said, please suspend this man. But unfortunately, neither did we have the information, neither was this allegation made earlier, and nor do we have the power to suspend any officer of the government. This is the same thing that we have been trying to say repeatedly, Zaka, that the elected state government should have the authority and the power to open investigations against errant officers, to take suspension action, to take transfer action against them. You know what we did? The first thing that we did when we got the Supreme Court decision in favor of our government, we transferred the vigilance secretary because we wanted to open investigations.
The question that was asked by Mr. Srivastava was also about checks and balances within the ministry. The fact that this went on for 2 years, I mean, no one is implying that you knew about it, but the fact that this went on for 2 years, doesn't it worry you about lack of checks and balances in the very department that is meant to protect women and children?
Zaka, I just want to repeat what the senior advocate on the panel, Ms. Geeta Luthra, said earlier. These kinds of acts are committed within the closed doors of people's homes, which are considered to be safe spaces. There is no way that you can have a CCTV camera inside an officer's home to know what the officer is doing within the closed space of his residence. So to suggest that because he was an officer of the Delhi government, we should be held responsible for something, a very grievous criminal act that he has committed inside his closed space is absolutely wrong.
Okay.
We want to see him punished with the most severe punishment possible. That is what the Aam Aadmi Party is saying.
Zaka, I have not interrupted. I hope you'll give me 40 seconds at least. Zaka, where is the fault of the Delhi government? Precisely. Mr. Srivastava has said the CWC knew. The CWCs are under the Delhi government. On 13th, the CWC knew very well that this proceeding is happening against this officer. What was the Delhi government doing? Forget suspension. Chalo, you don't have the power, you say. You did not write to the LG. You could have at least said for 8 days, this man should not be reporting to office. He was reporting to office, goddammit. And you have the gall to come here and say this one is responsible. We didn't have powers. Secondly, what is the system? One second, Zaka, I requested you. This can't be the way.
Yeah. Please go on. Go on.
The Delhi government is on record to tell the Supreme Court that every child who has lost a parent in COVID and is in the care of another individual has been put up as information in the public domain. Where is this child's information? You have the gall to come and say this. Your Delhi Commission chief goes to Manipur. Please go by all means. The assembly discusses Manipur. Discuss by all means. What about the children of Delhi? What about the women of Delhi? And this is not the first time. You know, 7 years ago, who was the WCD minister? Sandeep Kumar. And you know what the Aam Aadmi Party said? It is a conspiracy against a particular community that he's being hooked and being fixed when that video came out.
Now,
you know what they said about the child rapist? That he's a physiotherapist in the case of Satyendra Jain. This is their charitra. They defend the rapist.
Very good. You have made a very good political statement. Okay.
Akshay, have some shame. A 14-year-old has been raped. Her body has been put in all kinds of trouble, and you are saying this is politics.
Final word. I have to wrap up after this. Akshay, 10 seconds.
This is what about you? This is what about you of the lowest order? Lowest order.
This is the culture in Delhi.
Talk about that girl, 14-year-old girl.
I'm sorry to the viewers of Delhi. I'm sorry to the people who are watching this broadcast that the fight for justice for a young 14-year-old child who was repeatedly raped over a 2-year period has been reduced yet again into a political slanging match between the AAP and the BJP. That is the sad reality of the national capital. But once again, our thoughts, our prayers, and our fervent hope that as soon as is possible, the soonest possible, this man and his accomplice wife are brought to justice, and that all the strength and power that the law can extend is extended to this victim, to this survivor.